Should newlywed couple go in for a single child or have more children? In fact, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin was left wondering on this very question recently. But why? Vanakkam. This is T. Suresh Kumar. Thank you for joining me in this episode of the Hindu Focus Tamil Nadu. Presiding over a mass wedding recently, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin recalled that in the good old days, people would bless couples saying that be blessed with 16 and have a prosperous life. The 16 here did not denote begetting 16 children, but it meant being bestowed with 16 riches. However, Stalin said that now that there was a looming threat of the state losing its representation in terms of number of seats in the parliament, one wonders whether it's a good idea to have a small family or produce 16 children. This remark of Stalin came against the backdrop of the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu speaking in favor of couples having more children. It cannot be taken in a lighter vein. In fact, it needs to be seen against the backdrop of a development that happened 8 months ago. In February this year, the Tamil Nadu Assembly adopted a resolution unanimously opposing the proposed delimitation exercise. This delimitation is expected to happen on the basis of the 2021 census that has been deferred due to the COVID pandemic. Now first, let's take a look at what exactly is a delimitation exercise. Article 82 of the Indian Constitution mandates undertaking a delimitation exercise through a delimitation commission to determine the number of seats that each state gets to represent in the Lok Sabha as well as the number of seats in every assembly. This delimitation is also undertaken to redraw the boundaries of constituencies and also to determine the number of constituencies that need to be reserved for the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribe. Such a readjustment is undertaken every 10 years based on the decennial census, which means it's linked to the population. And this is exactly how the delimitation was undertaken in the initial years after independence until 1971. And that is how the number of seats in the Lok Sabha went up from 494 to 543. This means that on an average, a Lok Sabha constituency comprises about 10.1 lakh population as of 1971. However, after 1971, the delimitation was frozen by virtue of a constitutional amendment, first until the year 2000 and subsequently through another constitutional amendment till the year 2026. This was done to encourage population control measures so that states with a higher population growth do not end up with higher representation in the Lok Sabha and in the assemblies. In between, the boundaries of the constituencies were redefined based on the 2001 census without changing the actual number of seats. And that is how certain constituencies in Tamil Nadu came to be de-reserved. For instance, Perambur became a general constituency and the Nilgiris became a reserved constituency. Likewise, the names of certain constituencies underwent a change. For instance, Periyakulam became Theni constituency. Now, the next delimitation exercise is slated after the first census after the year 2026. Ideally, this would have meant that the delimitation would be carried out based on the 2031 decadal census. However, since the 2021 census got delayed on account of the COVID pandemic, now the possibility is that this delayed census could form the basis for the next delimitation exercise in the country. So why is it that Tamil Nadu and other southern states are opposing the proposed delimitation exercise? This is because there is a real fear that the number of seats in the parliament that these states represent would proportionally go down in comparison to the other states, because the south has been very effective in implementing population control measures as opposed to the Bimaru states, and that is precisely why 8 months ago the assembly resolution in Tamil Nadu that opposed delimitations called the delimitation as a sword that was hanging over the head of Tamil Nadu. To illustrate how Tamil Nadu would be placed at a disadvantage if this delimitation exercise is carried out, Stalin in the assembly sought to compare Tamil Nadu with Bihar. Now, Bihar has 40 Lok Sabha seats presently. Tamil Nadu has 39 seats. Stalin said that Bihar's population has grown 1.5 times greater than that of Tamil Nadu, which means Bihar would get higher representation in the Lok Sabha post delimitation, whereas that will not be the case with Tamil Nadu. He said that even with 39 MPs, the state is often begging the centre for funds and other activities. And if this delimitation is carried out, then Stalin feels that Tamil Nadu would be left far behind and lose all its rights. Therefore, the state is opposed to any change in the number of Lok Sabha seats for the state based on population. Now, based on certain statistical models, experts are pointing out that the South, including Tamil Nadu, will stand to lose irrespective of whether the Lok Sabha seats remain at 543 or are increased to 840 plus post delimitation. Because they believe that if the cap is maintained at 543 and the numbers get readjusted, then Tamil Nadu could lose about 9 to 10 seats in the process. And in case the number is increased to 840 because the new parliament building has a seating arrangement to accommodate 888 MPs, even in that scenario, the state would no doubt get more seats, but proportionately compared to the Bimaru states, it will be very less. In fact, a population-based model, be it for delimitation or for devolution of funds, is always fraught with risks. In fact, a few years ago, the southern states had strongly opposed the terms of reference of the 15th Finance Commission, which hinted at the possibility of tax revenues being shared on the basis of the population model. They felt that the southern states are being penalized for better performance. So, what is the way forward in respect of the delimitation exercise? Experts are coming up with different alternatives. One of them, Rangarajan, a former IAS officer, has suggested that the centre could cap the number of Lok Sabha seats at 543 without any change in the state-wise representation, which means Tamil Nadu will continue to have 39 seats and so will be have with 40 seats. This would mean that the states will continue to get the same representation based on the 1971 census. On the other hand, he has suggested that the number of assembly seats could be changed based on the next census. Likewise, the former West Bengal governor Gopal Krishna Gandhi has suggested that there should be another freeze on delimitation until there is population stabilization across the country. That seems to be a very good suggestion. In fact, he fears that unless this is done, then the existing tensions on the lines of north-south could only escalate. Hopefully, the centre would look into these aspects and come up with a model that will satisfy different states, particularly the south, so that there is no regional imbalance in the parliament in the coming years. On that note, this is D. Suresh Kumar signing off. I shall meet you in another video. Thank you.